Selfishness. Yes, that's what I said. I'm convinced it's the one thing that could make your work 10 times more interesting. I calculated that. No, I didn't. Don't at me. You are trying very hard to get people engaged, interested, or even raving fans. It could be your personal brand newsletter. It could be your Twitter/X posts. It could be your video scripts. You see, I believe it's the underlying reason why captivating hook formats work. But how could selfishness be all that? Well, I'll tell you. And I'm 90% sure it's not what you think. I had missed it for an unspeakable amount of time, and I was smacked in the face with it by a bunch of 7-year-olds. I was helping to run a mini camp at my church for a bunch of 5 to 10-year-olds, and one of them started to tell me about his little boo-boo on his ankle. That kid barely stopped talking when another kid piped up and started to tell his story about how he had an accident and hurt himself. Then immediately after that, his twin brother started to tell his story about his personal injury story. Then it occurred to me how kids are just a distilled version of us grown-ups. They're real and raw versions of us, unfiltered. Everyone, if they could be, would be just like this, and often are. When one person tells a story, then the other person starts to think about their own life and how their story is related. Maybe they want to show empathy or make connections or simply just be the center of attention. I'm sure all of us have had experiences like this in our lives, or maybe you've been that person you feel called out right now. The bottom line is we all have this inclination, just not all of us act on it all the time. We all think about ourselves and how the information we're receiving is related to us and relevant to our lives. So what does that mean for us creatives, writers, business owners, people like us who are interested in sharing ourselves with the world and making a difference, an impact in someone's life? The answer is based on this simple principle. People generally care about themselves. We're selfish beings. Now, we could get into the weeds and philosophize about whether altruists are really altruistic, but I'm not about that in this video today. I want to get to the crux of this matter, which is what the heck am I going to do with this principle, and how will it make my stuff better? Well, the first reaction and attempt to making our good stuff is pretty straightforward, and it's this. We need to move ourselves out of the way and give the people what they want. But herein lies the first sinkhole that sucks people down into a never-ending abyss of self-loathing. I'm not even exaggerating. A lot of people give this advice, and a lot of people take it and run into a brick wall of burnout and life-hating hamster wheels of success. Yes, you can meet success using the purest form of give the people what they want. You see, the pitfall of going gung-ho on this partial interpretation of this principle is a lack of fulfillment, a lack of wholeness, and a broken sense of self-worth. Even though you're serving others, you know you're still missing something. Then we have the swing to the other extreme, and what I like to call sinkhole number 2. I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. Listen, I'm not making fun. You know it's happy town around here. I abide by a happy life. At the same time, the problem remains, especially for the newcomer to the world of content creation. No one cares about you. Not about your story, not about your grandma, not about how you like Doritos with your Oreos, hashtag not sponsored. So what happens to people is they post about their life, putting their heart on the internet, all about them, and get nothing back or barely anything. And then they feel like they suck, that they can't do it, or the algorithm hates them. When in actuality, it's that the right people don't like it because they didn't care. It's not all doom and gloom here though, because what the last sinkhole left out, this one kept. People who take this route often feel a lot happier in the beginning, and sometimes for a good while into it. Doing work you love, even if it's not loved, is something many people do every day. But we can't live on emotions. We live in an economy where you need money, and making money comes harder on this road. And even for some, not at all. So what's the answer? I can't make all for them content because I'll burn out, and I can't make all for me content because I'll die a perhaps happy but starving artist. The answer is so simple that you probably already thought of it and are waiting for me to finally say it. But it was important for me to take you down this mental road with me so that you could know for sure to shun these other two roads and take this other path that I'm about to tell you right here. Because there's not one side to this principle. Give the people what they want. Aren't we people too? Yes, we do have to give people what they want, but not at the expense of what we want. It's the magic in the meeting. It's the intersection of what the world needs and what I need. It sounds simple on the surface, but believe me, even at this point, people still mess it up. In order to solve this problem, we need to ask the right question. Because wrong questions give you wrong answers, and wrong answers have you chasing the wrong goals for 10 years of your life wasted down the drain. Believe me. The magic question: what do you want your work to help people achieve? Don't miss my wording here. It's all intentional. Help people implies people need help with something, preferably something in demand. Achieve implies a big enough goal with a meaningful payoff. These two things take care of the give them what they want part. And the last keyword is what I want to draw your attention to. It's responsible for our happiness. Want. What do you want? Yes, we're being selfish. And the reason is simple. Passion. You need passion to keep pushing for your goals. Passion keeps you going. And want is the seed for it, no matter how small. Now, bringing them together is where the practical skill comes in. It's the thing we'll all need to continuously work on. I'm talking to myself here too. I'm discovering every day how to put this stuff into practice. It takes intentionality. I'm going to share what I plan to do. You can make up your own mind if you want to do it or not after hearing it all. I think this post by Dickie Bush on X/Twitter sums this up very well. Bad copywriting is, here's my product, here's what it does, here's what's so good about it. Here's my favorite anime, here's where I traveled to last year, here's that mole on my right shoulder. Tell me I'm exaggerating. Good copywriting is, here's your problem, here's the benefit of solving it, here's why what you've tried has failed, and by the way, here's a product or solution that will help you solve it. See the difference? I think of it as 6 degrees of bacon. Except instead of bacon, it's what I want to give people, or what I call 6 degrees of making. Come on, that's really good. You gotta admit, it fits perfectly. But essentially, it's this. What you want, people will like your stuff. Your problem, your stuff is boring. What doesn't work? Never thinking about them, or never thinking about you, or neither. Here's a solution that will help you solve it. Playing 6 degrees of making with everything. Wait, did we just inception 6 degrees of bacon right there? It's a time loop. For good reason, because we will do this forever. This is the game. If you want to be happy, find a way for people to be happy with your work so you can live. Find the ways to carve a path from what they want to what you want. It's time to get creative. Entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, wannapreneurs, their dreams die because of this one thing. Said beautifully by Justin Welsh on Twitter/X. The graveyard of solopreneurs is filled with solutions to non-existent problems. Fix real problems that make you happy. That's a much better life, in my opinion. Do be careful about overthinking this though it can be a fun rabbit hole. But should it become not fun, I made a great video about that very topic right over here. It's all about overthinking and how to overcome it, coming out of the other side like a champ.